Hey guys, how are you today? This is Delisa Robinson. I am with Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo, Inc. Today we are doing Wholesaling Real Estate Mini Bootcamp Session 3. Now, if you haven't had time, grab your pens, grab your paper, because we are going to get into this serious side of dealing with the sellers. Tomorrow we will deal with buyers. Friday we will go over contracts. It is going to be all day, all day, all day. Well, for the next hour anyway, of negotiations with sellers. And that's how we're going to start this off. As always, if this is your first time joining us, I am Delisa Robinson, President, your owner and CEO of Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo. Been in real estate investor for over 22 years out here in these real estate streets. It has been a joy. It has been trouble. It has been traumatic. It has been exciting. It is everything that I want it to be and more. Social media marketing advocate, because I do believe that social media is extremely important for those who want to get into business. You have to have some type of social media presence, because how many of you actually read a newspaper, flip a magazine these days? Hardly anyone. So you want to get into social media marketing because that's where your audience is. Business consultant, we do train and teach people how to start up their business so that they can get business credit. We do consultations and making sure businesses are set up correctly, marketing, just guidance on how to genuinely open a business and run it. You know, maybe you need more staff and you're not sure if you can afford staff. We will help you go over your books and finances to figure out where you need that stuff at. That's what we do. Tag 716, Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo. Tag 716 is a full-service real estate investment firm. Real estate sales, both retail, which is on the market, wholesale, which is off market, and what we've been discussing in this session of Lunch and Learn. And I'm pretty sure it's going to go into next week, because I refuse to leave you uninformed. We do real estate investments, where we have taken investments into our projects and we will invest in other projects. We've joint ventured and partnered up with plenty of people out here in these real estate streets, and we've had success. Real estate lending. This is where we deal into the magical world of hard money, private loans, and even some traditional lending. And portfolio building and management, where we help you manage and build a real estate portfolio that is cash flowing. And when we say manage, we don't manage your properties for you. We don't do that. But we do have a landlord boot camp coming up where we're going to teach you how to manage your own properties, or to hire. And when we say hire, not hire a property manager, but hire someone to be on your payroll to manage the properties for you. That's what we mean. And to have it work. Okay. All righty. Well, let's get into what we call wholesaling. This is our wholesaling real estate mini boot camp session 3. What do we look for when we're looking for wholesale properties? And a lot of people ask me that. That's why I had to make sure I covered it. A lot of people ask, what do I look for? What type of property? When I'm driving for dollars, when I'm visiting my grandma, when I'm visiting my sister, what properties do I look for to wholesale? And the answer is quite simple. On the outside, if you're just starting out, the easiest properties to look for the unkept lawn, the tall grass, the weeds, garbage everywhere. You want to look for that, because that means there's an absentee owner, because an owner cannot, there is no way anyone will live in a house with tall grass, weeds, garbage all over the place. Well, you would hope not anyway. If you live up north like we do up here in snow country, you want to look for undisturbed snow. No footprints, hasn't been shoveled after 2 or more snowfalls, because sometimes we can get a snowfall and it's 2 inches. Nobody's going to shovel 2 inches unless you're my kid, and my kid gets bored, so he'll go outside. He'll shovel dirt if I ask him to at this point, just to get out of the house. But unless you have more than 2 snowfalls, you're not going to shovel, really, not professional snowbirders. We're not going to do it. You want to look for the stuffed mailbox. You know those houses you walk past all the time. You walk to the bus, to the train. You're just riding by. Every time you go to your grandmother's house, the neighbor next door, the house is like, the mailbox is just loaded with mail. If you see the mailman, ask him, hey, is the house vacant? Even if they know it's vacant, they have to legally leave the mail just in case somebody comes to pick it up. So you have to legally leave the mail in a vacant house. So that's what they do. So you look for the stuffed overflowing mailbox. Mail hasn't been disturbed in a while. As you're riding by, take a look up. And this is the thing, a lot of people don't look up. Look up. If you see a roof that looks like it needs to be repaired, write the address down. Find out if they want to sell it. Because if the roof needs to be repaired to the point where you can see it, guess what? They don't have the money to fix it. So that's what you want to look into. And my favorite, the zombie house. We all have that house in I don't care what neighborhood you live in, the suburbs, you can live in the city, you can live in the country. There is a house that is boarded up and has been boarded up and vacant for years. Call the people and see if they want to sell it. 9 times out of 10, they want to sell it, they just haven't got the right offer for it yet. And of course, the vacant house. Every neighbor knows who that owner is of the vacant house. So if you have a house that's vacant, knock on the door across the street. Knock on the door next door. Hey, who owns this house? They'll tell you. They will tell you. Nosy neighbors are the best source of information. But that's basically what you're going to look for when you're looking for a zombie house. And I see I have my usual suspects. I'm going to give a quick shout out. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Melinda. Hi, Sean. Hey, Susan. Thank you for coming back. You're new to our little crew. We appreciate you. So we want to get into, what do I say to the seller, right? That's what everybody wants to know. Now, what do I say to the seller? How many of you know what to say? If you know what to say I do. Oh, nobody knows what to say, huh? Well, guess what? I do. Ha ha ha, like that. But stop. Before you start calling, figure out what you're going to say. You can't call somebody if you don't know what you're talking about. You can't call somebody if you don't know what to say. This is why out of 9 people that I talk to who want to get into wholesaling, this is the one thing they all say. I have no idea what to say to these people when I get off the phone. What am I supposed to say? So grab your pens, grab your papers, because we're getting ready to tell you what to say. Now, keep in mind, this is a mini boot camp, so we may not get into every single scenario, but in our masterclass, we do. But this mini boot camp, we are going to write out a script. Write out your script. Practice it with a partner. And once you feel confident, then you start calling. Okay, so first thing you need to do is write down what you want to say. Write down what you think you should say. Practice it with a partner. And we're going to give you some pointers on structuring your script. This is what we're going to deal with today, because this is huge. Okay, so your script criteria, script criteria. Your script should have flow. I mean, it should flow. I mean, how many of you listen to rap music and they just seem like they say stuff off the top of their heads without any script, any words, nothing? That's called a freestyle. Don't do that when you're wholesaling, okay? Your script should have flow. It should tell a story. It should tell your story, most importantly. You should only ask open-ended questions. Keep it simple and let the other person respond. Now, here's, and I want you guys to just picture this for a moment. As a collector on the phone, I used to scoot down in my chair, you know, the collector, the call center, they have their headsets on their ears. And I, to this day, still wear a headset all day, every day, as long as if I'm plugged into work, I have a headset on. So, and to be honest with you, I just took it off right before I started this webinar. So what we do is we have our headsets on. I used to go to my favorite place in my head which is a shoe store. Shoe stores are heaven for me. I can stay in a shoe store for 2 or 3 hours. Believe me, I can't. And I will try on every shoe in my size. However, can't do that if I'm at work. But collectors get a bad rap. I'm going to tell you why. We have this reputation, and I say we because I still consider myself a collector sometimes, especially when my tenants don't pay their rent. So I still go into collector mode. So what we do is we get this reputation of being harsh, rude, nasty, talking over you. These are all the things you think about when you have to deal with a collector at a collection agency. When that's not true. Not all of us were like that. So I would scoot down. I'm in this chair for 8 hours a day. I have to do my job for 8 hours a day. So I would just listen. And I'm telling you, if you listen to anybody talk, they will so talk themselves into what you want them to do. All you gotta do is listen. I would scoot real low in my chair, headset on, head back, eyes closed. In my mind, I would be shopping for shoes on one side. On the other side, I'd have a pen and paper taking notes on the conversation. You should always take notes on your conversations. And you're going to see what I'm talking about in the next couple of slides. Because if you listen, you will get more contracts. You will get more people wanting to sell you houses for less prices than you ever thought possible before. And you will be amazing. Trust me, believe it. I did not gross over $100,000 per year for 10 years as a collector. Okay, in my collections career, I was in collections over 20 years. My last 15 years, the last 10 years, I made over 100. The first 5 years, I made over 60. So you do the math on that. I made lots and lots of good money working in collections. And I'm gonna tell you, what I learned in collections, I use in real estate investment, and it's gotten me where I need to be financially. So let's roll on. You guys ready to hear what I suggest you do? Of course you are. Yes, Elisa, show us. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is hello. And that's, you gotta understand how important it is. Somebody answers the phone, it's hello. May I speak to Susan? This is Susan. Is this Susan Johnson, the owner of 123 Main Street in Buffalo, New York? Yeah. My name is Lisa Robinson. I'm calling with Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo. My investment partners and I have been looking at homes in that area, because you always want to say you're looking for homes in their area. And we were wondering, how many offers have you had on your home? And then you wait for them to respond. Now I'm going to tell you what I just did. And you're going to look at me like I'm nuts. I know, it's okay. This question tells you that offers are being thought about, but the seller hasn't heard one that they like. I'll say it again. This question tells you that the offers are being thought about. They just haven't heard one that they like yet. It also tells you something else. I'm talking to the owner. It tells you that I told the owner that I have investment partners, so that keeps me open for showings. And that I've been looking at other homes in that area, which tells them I have an idea of what's going on in their neighborhood. Did I just paint a pretty picture with my story? Let me know what you guys think. So how many of you understood what I just did? If you don't understand it, be honest. We have questions. This is a very open group. We have questions, answers, whatever you need to know. All right, Susan says she's got it. Cynthia's got it. Okay, Melinda's got it. Oh, everybody's got it. Good job. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I did. I told them who I was. I told them who I work for. I told them what I do. I asked have they gotten any offers? Because now if this person, I always say she because I'm usually talking to a woman. I usually hear a she, and she says yes. But if she's gotten offers and she hasn't sold yet, why? Because she hasn't heard the offer she likes. She's thinking about it. She just haven't heard an offer that says, make me move out of here. Because she doesn't have to move. That also tells you she's not as motivated to move as other people would, or she's not as motivated to move that property as someone else would. So find her motivation. That's scenario number one. Number two, hi, my name is Lee. Hi, may I speak to Susan? Susan Robinson, I'll use my own last name. Yeah, hi, are you the owner of 123 Main Street in Buffalo? Yeah. Okay, I'm calling from Trinity Alliance Group in Buffalo. My investment partners and I have been looking at homes in that area. What are your plans for this particular property? Now, this is if they don't live in it. If they don't live in the property, what are your plans for the property? Then you can add what you already know. These are called conversation starters. These are not full scripts, okay? So then you're gonna add, well, I noticed that when I passed the house, I noticed it was boarded up. What are your plans for the property? Or, I noticed the property has some fire damage. What are your plans for this property? I noticed the property needed a new roof. Do you have plans to put it, when are you going to repair, what are you going to do about the roof? These are the questions you ask. What are your plans for the property? Let them tell you what they plan to do, because that's going to tell you which way you go next. So in other words, say this person says, well, I plan to renovate it and rent it out. Oh, have you got any estimates? My contractor would love to come by and take a look. Are you available tomorrow at 2? What did I just do? I just got my foot in the door so I can see that property. Because guess who's coming with my contractor? Me. So that's what you do. That's how you get in. A conversation starter is just to get your foot in the door. You don't have conversations over the phone. You don't talk about money over the phone. You don't discuss that. You wait. You ask this one question. You introduce yourself in the introduction with a question and wait for the response. Because to tell the story again, what this tells me, it tells who I'm talking to, the owner. I've introduced myself. They know my company name. They know I have partners, so I'm going to need multiple showings possibly. They know that I know the area, and I want to know what they're going to do with that property. And the story ends with them telling me what they have planned for that property. That's how you make that work. One question, 1,000 different outcomes. Let's try one more time. Here's how you're going to end that up. Well, Mrs. Robinson, I would like to come to the property tomorrow at 2 p.m. with my contractor to get an interior look so that my partners and I can present an offer to you. And you stop talking. You don't say, will you be available? And the answer is no. You don't say, will that time work for you? No. You don't give them an out. A yes or no question gives them an out. And you always want to ask an open-ended question. And you make this statement sound like a question. Well, Ms. Robinson, I'd like to come by the property tomorrow at 2 p.m. with my contractor to get an interior look so that my partners and I can present you an offer. Automatically, it's like, wait a minute, hold up. They're serious. Tells you that, this tells the seller you're serious. This gives the seller a date and a time that you're coming by. And the only thing they can do is say, yes, I'm available, or no, not at that time. Now, if they say, yes, I'm available, you take the date and time and you put it in your calendar and you're there at 1:45. Right? Right. If they say, no, I'm not available, will Friday at 3 p.m. work? Or instead of saying, would Friday work? Because they're going to say no. You say, well, I can accommodate you on Friday at 3. And you stop talking. This is how you get people to talk. Let them fill the void. You don't fill it. Okay? If that seller agrees, you take the date and time. If they don't agree, you suggest another date. Don't say, is this time better? How about Friday at 3? Well, I have an opening Saturday at 2, and you stop talking. Now, does this help anybody today? Is anybody picking this up? Anybody need explanations? Is this helping you? If it's helping you, let me know. Oh, hey, Jackie. Hey, girl, hey. Jackie says it's helping her. All right. Helping. Cynthia says it's helping. All right. Good job, guys. Oh, thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. So this is what you do. You set it, you give them a time, you give them a date, you let them know you're coming with a contractor. This is how they know you're serious. You don't say you're the wholesaler. You say you're an investor. You say you have investor partners. You can say you're an acquisitions manager for an investment company. You never say wholesaler, because the minute you say wholesale, what are they going to say? Oh, she's just trying to get in here. They're trying to get money from a property. Wholesaler is just as bad as being a collector. So don't say that. Even if you're virtual wholesaling, you still want to get boots on the ground. Who's going to take those pictures for you? You need to set that appointment, because you can't sell a house. You can virtual wholesale all you want, but if you can't sell a house nobody's seen. It's hard as ever. It is so hard, Melinda. I'm glad you asked that question. It is hard to virtually wholesale a house. That is the purpose of our network that we have. We have a network of people nationwide. We can call people, say, hey, I need somebody to go to this property at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Who can go? And that's how that works. That's why we do what we do. Virtual wholesaling can be very dangerous, because on Google, there will be a picture. In person, it might just be a lot. So you have to be very careful about that. Got it. Okay, good. Now let's move to the next one. What happens when you show up for the appointment? See what I'm talking about, Mary? You picking up what I'm putting down, all that stuff? Excuse the fire sirens. Now somebody's house is on fire in my neighborhood, apparently. So showing up for the appointment is what we're going to do. Be prepared. That's the one thing that will aggravate you as you get going in this business and your business starts to pick up. You will be completely aggravated if you are partnered up with somebody that is not prepared. If you are training somebody or somebody shadowing you and they're not prepared. Even a seller that's not prepared will grate on your last nerve. So you have to be prepared in order to get them prepared. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. First of all, arrive 10 to 15 minutes early. That's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to arrive early. The reason why you're going to arrive early is because you want to check out the neighborhood a little bit. You're going to be in front of that house, standing on their door, ringing their doorbell 10 to 15 minutes early. But while you've been on your way, you've taken a slow drive to get to that point. You want to check out the neighborhood. You want to have a notebook and something to write with. Last thing you want to do is ask the seller, do you have a pen? Do you know how unprepared you look? Do you have a pen? Ask the seller if you are allowed to take photos. Some people don't want you taking pictures of their house, so you have to be prepared for a no. And if they say no, what you say is, Well, can I just take pictures of the outside, and I'll take pictures of your circuit breaker box, your furnace, your electric panel, just so I can keep that for my records and my contractor's records? Usually you'll get a yes. Ask them for the tour. And a lot of them will say, oh no, you can go ahead and go through. Or you can say, hey, would you like to show me around your house? And then if you see the wear and tear on the property, be very, very careful about pointing it out. You have to nicely and delicately bring this up because, first of all, some of these people have lived in these houses for years. They're attached to it. Even though the number one rule is don't get attached to a property, these people are attached to it. That's why I haven't sold it yet. All the kids are gone. The wife or the husband has passed away. They've been living in this house forever by themselves. That's one situation. You have one, if it's vacant and they got to unscrew the boards, honey, you better buy yourself a drill. Because I'm telling you now, those owners will show up with no drill. Go to Home Depot, buy it's like a $50 drill kit, and it's got like every different drill bit in it. And I don't care if you have to practice or take that class on Saturday that Home Depot has where they teach you how to do stuff. Go to that class and get somebody to show you how to use that drill if you don't know how to use it. Because you need to know how to take those boards off the house and you know how to put them back up. Or if your contractor's with you, they need their drill. Be surprised how many contractors show up and don't have the proper equipment to unboard a house. Make sure they have their stuff prepared. And if not, you have to be prepared. That's what I mean by you being prepared for everybody else's shortcomings. So if you're prepared, nobody else really has to be. But yes, please, please, please buy a drill. I don't care what brand it is, as long as it works. I don't get a check from any of them, so I don't really care what brand of drill you use. But just to let you know, DeWalt, Ryobi, what's that other one? I don't know. There's a ton of them out there. Well, any drill will do. It doesn't have to be a $50 kit. It could be a $25 kit with some drill with some bits to it, but you got to make sure it has certain drill bits so that you are prepared with the different types of screws. Because there's more than just a flathead, and there's more than just what's that? The X one. I don't know what it's called. I forgot. Just that quick. But I know there's one called a star screw, and it's got like 6 different points on it. Not the standard Phillips. That's what I'm trying to say. Not your standard Phillips, not your standard flathead. There are star screws. There are some screws that have a square on the top. So you have to be prepared with all those different bits. So make sure, and Cynthia says, yeah, her husband told her that too. You have to have a drill bit. You have to buy a drill because we look at a lot of abandoned properties or a lot of properties that are boarded up. So since most of the people on today are women, ladies, buy a drill and get a good pair of work boots because you don't know what's in some of these houses. Oh my gosh, please get some boots. I'm a Timberland girl. I have them in red and pink. Yep. I'm the girly girl on the construction site. So make sure about this. Negotiations. Now, in the negotiation process, you guys are going to feel the need to talk. You do not have to be the girl that fills the silence, as Pink says in one of my favorite songs, Sober. You don't have to be the girl that fills the silence. You don't have to be the guy that talks too much. You don't have to be the one that knows everything. Stop talking. Enjoy the peace. When you stop talking, you can listen to what other people say. So, for negotiation purposes, we're negotiating with sellers right now. Don't blink first. The first one to discuss money loses. That's why we got the little guy at the blackjack table over here. First person to discuss money loses the negotiations. And here's why. So if I'm talking to Miss Susie, and you guys know Miss Susie is like my favorite homeowner. If I'm talking to Miss Susie and I say, you know, Miss Susie, I was thinking about offering you $50,000 for this house. And she goes, okay. That's because Miss Susie was thinking 30. But you lost 20 grand because Miss Susie let you talk about money first. Don't. If you want to know what Miss Susie wants, hey, Miss Susie, I was wondering, how much you're looking to get for this house? And then you stop talking. Don't give her a dollar amount. Oh, maybe 30, 20, 30,000. Don't say numbers. Do not say a number. I'm gonna say it again. Don't say a number, okay? You have to let Miss Susie say that number first. Well, honey, I was just thinking 30,000. And in your mind, you're like, yes, I just saved myself 20 grand. So I was gonna give her 50. So now you know you can sell at 50 and you can get a 20 grand. You can get 30 grand, 20 grand. You could probably sell it for 75. You'd probably make more than Miss Susie did on her house. And I'm telling you now, if you don't pay Miss Susie's closing costs when you just made more than she did on her own house, you suck. Yep, I said it. If I'm gonna make, especially, and I don't know what it is, I think it's because I don't speak elderly, but I like elderly people. And I have a lot of respect for elderly people. My great grandma just passed away a couple months ago. She was 111. So I love old people. So when they get into these situations where they're getting ready to sell their homes, I try to make it as easy as possible for them. Because guess what? The last thing you want is your name, your company's name in the news for ripping off an old person. You become the sucky wholesaler. All right? So you don't want to do that. So if Miss Susie says 30 grand, you say, okay, Miss Susie, I'll give you 30 grand, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pay your closing costs for you. Because if you were willing to pay 50,000 for that house, somebody's willing to pay you 50,000 for it. You want to make sure everybody wins. That's the best deal. And everybody said, oh, there's no way everybody can win. Yes, there is. If Miss Susie tells you she only wants 30 grand, you make sure she walks away free and clear with that 30 grand. If you know you can sell her house for 75 and somebody's willing to give you 75, even if they come in and say, you know what, I'll give you 60, you just made $30,000. If you're not happy making that in one transaction, I don't know what is going to make you happy financially anyway. If somebody came up and offered you $75,000 for it, you made $45,000. $15,000 more than Miss Susie. So why can't you pay her closing costs and let her live the rest of her time out nicely? I like old people. You should like old people too. Because the majority of these people that you're going to talk to, they're going to be a little older. So get used to it and learn how to speak elderly. Okay? But that's what you want to do. Don't be the first one to talk about money. Because if you said 50 and Miss Susie was thinking 30, in her mind, she done flipped a cartwheel. You could have said 40 and Miss Susie was thinking 30. In her mind, she still flipped that cartwheel because she's still making out. She's still getting more than what she thought she was going to get. So do not discuss money first. Don't blink, okay? Stop blinking. Then you want to only discuss the facts and the figures. Before you show up for any appointment, there's one thing, and this is a helpful hint, and it's not going to be on any slide that we currently have. Before you show up, you need two things. Your numbers, you want the comps for the area, you want the ARV for the property, for the subject property, which is the property you're wholesaling or wanting to wholesale, and you better have a blank contract because if they agree to your numbers, sign now. Don't sign later, sign now. And we had a question, I saw it. I'm not passing you by. Okay, the question is, what's your go-to when they flat out refuse to give a number? Some sellers really want you to give a number first. Do you? Nope. I will clean walk away. Here's my go-to. You guys can take this with you. I was going to discuss it at the end of the numbers, but I'll discuss it now. Here's my go-to. If I'm over the phone and I say, well, we wanted to make you an offer. Well, what's your offer? Unfortunately, I can't make you a fair offer without seeing the property first. It's 2 p.m. tomorrow? I can come by tomorrow at 2 p.m. And you stop talking. See how you do that? You always flip it around back to you getting the appointment at the house. Now, if you've already seen the house and they're asking you for a number, so what do you want for this house? You know, what's your offer? Well, me and my partners need to go back and discuss it. And we got to run our numbers to see what repairs my contractor is going to come up with a reconstruction budget. And I have to make sure the numbers work. Did you have a number in mind? What number did you have in mind? And you take it back to them. Now, you've already told them, I'm flat out not going to give you a number. But you weren't rude about it. You just said, I just have to go and check my numbers, see if this makes sense for me. And then, what number were you thinking? What number did you have in mind? That's how you go about that. Oh yeah, always blame it on my partners. Always. Sean said, blame it on your partners. You damn right. It is always the imaginary partner's fault. Are you not going to go home and run your numbers? Yes. Who's your partner? You and your God. Who are your partners? I have in my mind, I already have an interested party, because if we did this the right way, remember yesterday we said we find our buyers first. So my buyer, I already have a buyer in mind. I need to run the numbers to make sure my assignment fee will be collected. Y'all right? Y'all picking it up? Okay. So that's what we want to do. You want to make sure that your partners are definitely. Your partner is your reason. That's who you're going to blame everything on. You're going to blame everything on a partner. You want to discuss the facts, the figures. You want to know the numbers. This is the most important thing. You want to have the repair costs written out. You want to know your ARV. You want to know your max allowable offer. You want everything to run smooth. We have another question. How do you present a property to your cash property with your fee added in a dollar amount? Absolutely. Yep. I would be remiss in not telling you that. If your desired assignment fee is $5,000 minimum, that's what you want to do, then what you're going to do, hold on one second, guys. I'm having some technical difficulties really quick. All right, so you want to only discuss the facts and figures. Have your ARV, know your allowable offer. When you present this offer to your buyer, which is what we're going to go into detail tomorrow, is the negotiations with the buyer. When you discuss with your buyer, your assignment fee is in that price. You don't want that to be not included. I made that mistake before and I ended up jipping myself on a $5,000. So you want to make sure that that information is what it is. Okay? You want to make sure you have your numbers right, because the one thing, and it says right at the bottom, numbers don't lie. You can't argue with a number. If I say you need a new roof and my contractor says that roof is going to cost $10,000, that's coming off the price. This is why I'm offering you the price that I am. You get what I'm saying? This is why I'm offering that price. If you know your contractor says, hey, they need updated electric, this is not legal anymore, or this is out of code, or this is out of date, you know it's going to cost you X amount of dollars to get that fixed. That's the reason why you're offering what you're offering. And the next day when you come back, or later that evening when you run your numbers at home and you come back and you say, hey, hey, Miss Susie, I'd like to offer you $40,000, because you were thinking in your mind 50. And Miss Susie said, well, just give me a number. You were thinking in your mind 50. You knew for a fact that now I have to get the electric done. Now I have to get the roof done. So now you've come down and you go, well, Miss Susie, you know what? I'm gonna give you, how about 35? I always start with my lowest number first. How about 35? Because if she was thinking 40, she's gonna say, well, I was really thinking 40. Or if you can come up to 40, guess what? In your mind, you had 50 on the table. I always go 10 grand under what I'm definitely trying to offer someone as a rule of thumb. So if I know my max is 50, I'm going to start 40. I might even start at 25 just to see if they'll take it. You get what I'm saying? You do not start at the top. You start at the bottom and you work your way to the middle, not the top. You try to get as much money off. You make your money in real estate. You make your money when you purchase. You don't make your money when you sell. You make the money when you purchase. So if I'm purchasing at 35, I'm raring to go if Miss Susie wants to offer me less. That's how that works. So if I'm in my mind at 35 and she's in her mind at 30, okay. Well, I was thinking 25, Miss Susie. Well, I was kind of thinking 30. Okay. Because in your mind, you was really thinking 50 anyway. So you see how that works? It's a mind game. I am never going to offer you, well, I give you 50 for it. No. You know when you're going to offer 50? You're going to see this. When your buyers, when you do that one showing with all your investment partners, and they're all walking through the house and they're looking at stuff and they're trying to figure out, that's when you're going to see max offers come in. Because you are going to tell everybody, I need all offers within 24 hours. That's how you present that on the buyer side. But like I said, we'll talk about that more tomorrow. Numbers do not lie, guys. You have to be into your numbers. And if you're no math genius, because that would be me, I hate math, always have, always will. If you're no math genius, get a good calculator. You can get one for about 10 bucks at Office Depot, Office Max or Staples. Walmart, Kmart. Kmart is not even in business anymore, is it? I know it's not here anyway. Your numbers matter. Okay, and we've just been talking about that for the past 5 to 10 minutes. Numbers really, truly, truly matter. And here are some of the calculations you're going to need. And I want you all to take a moment and screenshot this. You're going to need these calculations when you're working with buyers and sellers. You're going to need to know what the ARV is, after repair value. You're going to need to know what that is. Some people might say after rehab value, depends on what part of the country you live in, but it's after repair value. And it's a 416. You need 4 comparable properties within a 1 mile radius of your subject property, which is the property you're wholesaling, that's your subject property, that's sold. And I said sold within the past 6 months. That's what you need. You're going to take all 4 of them. You're going to add them up, divide by 4, which is an average. That is your ARV. So in this example, we have 235,000, 250,000, 199,000, and 235,000 for a total of $919,900. Divided by 4, and I get $229,975. That is my ARV. That's how simple the ARV calculation is. Now, cap rate is another one you're going to run into as a wholesaler. And the reason why you're going to run into cap rate is because you are going to eventually come across some properties that have tenants. And your buyers are going to ask you, what's the cap rate? The cap rate is the net income. So let me explain to you how do you get net income. You take the gross income for the year. You subtract property management, utilities, mortgage payments, expenses, maintenance, and you divide that dollar amount that you get by the purchase price. So they're going to be asking you, oh, well, you're wholesaling it to me. In this case, that price, your net income came up to $5,980. Your purchase price is $50,000. your cap rate is 0.1196, which equals 11.96%. That is your cap rate. And before you ask me, I will answer, what is a good cap rate? Anything over 8% is considered a good cap rate, right now anyway. That can fluctuate, but right now, anything over 8%. Okay, you're also going to need to know the 70% rule, which is in the bottom left-hand corner. A lot of people use 60%. Like me, I use a 60% rule. This is of your ARV, 70% of your ARV is what will be refinanced. So you have to make sure you have that available. So if in this case, if your ARV is 229.9, your 70% would be 160. 60% would be 137. See that? So that means all in, that's what the mortgage has to be. If the ARV is 229.9, 70% is what they're going to refinance it for. Your all in has to be under $160,982.50. And if you're using a 60% calculation, your ARV has to be under $137,985,000. And when I say all in, that's your purchase and your rehab budget. Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. I clicked the wrong thing. How do you keep track of what a good cap rate percentage is at Zillow? Usually, no, Jackie, there's no change. There's no change. There's no website or anything that you can change. People just have ideas. Different parts of the country have different ideas of what a good cap rate would be. In Buffalo, a good cap rate is 8%. In Alaska, it might not be. Usually anything over 8% is good. That's why I say anything over 8, because some people will say anything over 5. I've seen cap rates at over 30%. That's a freaking good deal. Take it. There we go. Ugh. I hate when things don't work my way. All right, so we're back in full effect. So you see what I'm saying? So that's how you know what a good cap rate is. Cap rate is basically how much it's a return on your investment. And anything over an 8 is good. Anything over a 10 is phenomenal, usually. You find something that's 10, 15%, buy it without hesitation. Now the 1% rule is so crazy to me. The 1% rule is where the rent collected should total 1% of the purchase price. So in the example that we use, if your purchase price is $150,000 times 1%, you get $1,500. So you should be paying you should be receiving at least $1,500 per month in rent. And that's simply how it puts. Now, there are other different ways. Every investor has their own way of working this out. I have a client, we laugh all the time because he told me my calculation is I have to be all in 5 years. I have to get all my money back within 5 years. So the rent collected times 12 times 5, if it comes in lower, if the purchase and renovation is less than that, he'll buy it. Yep, purchase price. And he's done it. And every time I present a property to him that matches that criteria, he's great with it. He's good. But we laugh about it because I thought I had the formula down, and then he's changed on me. He goes, no, now I'm down to 4 years. I have to get my money back in 4 years. Because he allots a certain amount of money per year. And I guess this is millionaire mindset, okay? He has a certain amount of money per year that he has set aside to invest in real estate. So he needs to know how soon he's going to get that money back so he can invest next year. And the next year, and the next year, and the next year. So that's how that works for him. And I think it's a great strategy, to be honest with you. I like his strategy better than the rest of them I've seen. So that is our presentation for today. As a matter of fact, our hour is almost up. Thank you for enjoying. Thank you for spending your lunch break with me. I appreciate you. We are going to, as always, you can reach us on all of our social media outlets. Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo Inc. Facebook page. We are at tag.716 on Instagram. Tag 716 is our YouTube channel. These videos will be loaded. And I mean, yesterday, I still got to load yesterday's. And this one will be probably loaded at the same time as yesterday. So they'll both probably be out there today sometime. Tag 716_team. We are on Twitter. And our affiliates. I mentioned our wholesale network. Let me give you a little bit of insight on that. Our wholesale network, we have a program where we basically partner up and pay you a JV agreement for helping us with sellers out of state, helping us with our virtual wholesale. So you basically, we will make the phone calls, we will do the skip tracing, we will set up the appointments. We just need you to help us out by going and seeing the property and taking pictures with your contractor and letting us know how much work we got to put into it. And then we have buyers, or else we wouldn't be looking in the areas that we're looking in because we have buyers. Then you get all of our classes, all of our education, you get our year-round services for $36 a month. That's all it takes. And you get all the training and everything else. Some of my network members are actually on here and they can tell you if they enjoy it or not. That's up to them. We do our lunch and learn on our YouTube channel where we put this up. Now the lunch and learn is just through the quarantine. Once quarantine is lifted for New York State, I have to go back to work. So we will do a lunch and learn at a different time during the day, but you can still do it on your lunch break. Tag 716 Network and Mastermind Facebook group. That is where we network and mastermind with other businesses, other business industries. It's for all industries, all business, all day. And we network and bounce ideas off of each other. All right, we have some comments. Oh, Cynthia, it's a good thing to join. The group is the best decision I made for my business. Oh, thank you guys. That's amazing. We should get you girls some t-shirts. That's what we should get you. We should get you ladies some t-shirts. And we are going to, let's see what they say about t-shirts. Oh yeah, maybe we will. We have some Tag 716 t-shirts here in the office, but they don't say the wholesale network on there. So maybe we have to get some new t-shirts made up. No biggie. We could do that through I have another company where I actually do t-shirts and stuff. So we'll see that. Oh, nice. Well, Susan, if you would like more information on the network, just give me, inbox the Trinity Alliance Group Facebook page, and we can get that information over to you because there's another video on our YouTube channel that goes into more detail about that program specifically. There is a tier 2 to the network where we will give you the property leads, and instead of receiving the 40% of the commission that you would if we did the lead calling, you receive 75% of the leads of the commission if you do the call and you do the skip tracing. And yes, to my network members who are in tier 2, you will get your new leads today. I promise you, today. But if I told you how jacked up the past couple of days have been, you'd be surprised. I had a flip that was supposed to close today. Well, it wasn't supposed to close till Friday. They decided to push my date up, which means I had to get my crew in to clean up and do everything else. And nobody was available. So I was literally cleaning out the flip until like 9, 10 o'clock last night. I didn't even feed my kids Cinco de Mayo tacos on Taco Tuesday. You know, it's all right though. How do you do come tier 2? Melinda, hit me up after this on the inbox on the Trinity Alliance Group page, and I'll get that information over to you. Okay, now, ladies and germs, we just said it. If you're interested in wholesale coaching, DM your email address to our Instagram page, tag.716. This is for the wholesale network, ladies and gentlemen. And we will send you the link to get started. You can do the Facebook page or you can do the Tag 716 Instagram page. And inbox your email address and we will get that over to you. Tag 716 University, this is specifically for anyone looking for real estate or business information. We have 2 different sites, 2 different logins. You will get a login. The classes are here. My network people, this is specifically for you right now. You guys will get all of your content, all of your education. We are moving it from the Facebook group, and it will be live in the Tag 716 University. And fingers crossed, my closing is in a half hour. I don't have to be there, which is great because I hate attending closings. And it will be there for you guys. So if by any chance the closing, it goes off, I don't have to stress myself out about anything else for the rest of the day, and I can actually get some work done. That's what I like. So I appreciate you. Thank you for coming out. Are there any other questions about what we talked about today? Seller scripting, conversation starters, negotiations with the sellers. And I know some of you are going to ask me, how do you determine, if you don't have a contractor, how do you determine? And I'm going to give you some basic rules on how do you determine some of the repairs, some of the more common repairs, and what to look for when you're looking at foundations, especially if you're in an area where they have basements. That is key. So we're going to go over some of that stuff probably on Monday, because we are going to stick with the negotiations for the next 3 days. So today we did negotiations with sellers. Tomorrow we're going to finish up sellers and go into a little more detail, how to close out the deal with the sellers. We're going to go over the purchase agreement contract. And then we're going to deal with our buyers. We're going to go over the assignment contract. And this is all going to happen between tomorrow and Friday. So stay tuned, stay in touch, stay safe, because it is still COVID-19 out here in these real estate streets. And I don't want anybody to get sick. So have a good day, be blessed, and make money. Talk to you guys tomorrow for the Lunch and Learn. Have a great one.